What's poppin', people? It's Dante. Today I'm going to be giving you the ultimate iPad Pro workflow for street photography. First and foremost, check out the views. We're out here in the forest going for a cruise. And yeah, this is my first example of why the iPad Pro is great. You can bring it along with you in the woods and work on your photography. You can do so many things with the iPad because of its portability. And yeah, this to me is first and foremost why I love the iPad Pro. So yeah, let's just get right into the video. So after returning from Hanoi, Vietnam in 2022, I realized that I needed to radically simplify my street photography workflow because I was shooting with an interchangeable lens camera system. I was using the Fujifilm X Pro 3. I had multiple lenses. I had backups with hard drives using a laptop. And this to me was such a slow and really tedious process. I remember not being able to go through any of my photographs during the trip, it just taking so much time to back things up, and I just felt like it was outdated at this point, and it was really bogging me down practically. And so essentially I decided to, upon returning home from this trip, to sell my camera equipment, pick up the Ricoh GR cameras, and use an iPad Pro. With speed and simplicity, I'm finding more joy in my photography, and ultimately that's why I use the iPad Pro. As you can see in this behind the scenes video, I'm culling through my photographs in a public space. I use an USB-C to SD reader. I plug in my SD card right to the Photos app. I'm importing the images. I don't need to use Lightroom. It's extremely fast and convenient when you're shooting JPEG files, and this to me is just making me so much more efficient as a photographer. And so for me, it's all about the speed, the simplicity, and the efficiency being the reason why I use the iPad Pro. It's just providing so much ease of use in my life when it comes to culling my photos, backing up my photos, publishing my photos, and all sorts of creative things. And so I love using the iPad Pro because I can bring it with me everywhere. It's extremely portable. I can essentially go through all of my photos from the day before I even get home, right? Like, I'll cull through my photos on the street, in a coffee shop, wherever I may be, very quickly and intuitively using the built-in Photos app. And then, by the time I get home for the night and have my dinner, I don't even have to go through my photos. I'm already done for the day. I think that's why it's so great for artists, is because it's portable and powerful, where you have your portfolio with you wherever you may be, and you have this direct touch interaction with the screen. Being able to sort of pinch and zoom and move your photographs around is such a breeze, and it's so easy to create from anywhere at any time. And this is why I feel like this device is the future, where you can hear me here actually using the voice dictation on the iPad to create a blog post. The convenience of voice dictation. And so I use this voice dictation as a way for me to write my thoughts out. I jot notes down in the IA Writer tool and then publish blog posts directly to my website using the voice dictation, where you don't need a mouse or keyboard. And this to me is the beauty of using an iPad Pro for all sorts of creative acts, where you don't necessarily need to only use it for your photography, but you can also use it for creative writing, where it's better than a laptop because there's no hunching over. You can essentially take it with you wherever you may be. You can go for a hike in nature, standing upright, walking out here in the fresh air, using the device, using it for your writing, using it to cull through your photos, to work on the images and go through your portfolio, where it's this really simple, minimalist, and beautiful device that I just basically always have with me at this point. And yeah, I can't see myself going back to using a traditional laptop. And so the combination of the Ricoh GR with the iPad Pro is what makes this process so freaking good, man. Like, this is the ultimate photography workflow, I believe. It's the fastest way to not only make an image using the high contrast black and white small JPEG files, but when you combine it to culling through the photographs with an iPad Pro and using the Photos app, it's just so simple. You don't have to even do any processing. The look in the look and the aesthetics of the high contrast is baked right into the file, and the file is so small that when you import the photographs to the Photos app, they import in like lightning speed. You can import thousands of photographs very quickly, and it's so intuitive too, where you don't have to go through all of the different backups using Lightroom, using the cloud services. You can simply directly import the photographs from the Ricoh into the Photos app and airdrop them around. And it's just such a simple workflow, where I use this USB-C to SD reader and I import the photos directly to the Photos app. You can view them instantly and you can cull through all of your images with a breeze. Honestly, On an average day, I'll take around 500 photographs, right? And so let's say I come home and I cull through my photos. It takes me not even 15 minutes. You know, in the past, it would take like an hour to freaking import thousands of photos, but now I'm going through my photographs in 10 to 15 minutes and I move on with my day. So when I'm culling through my photos, as you can see in the behind the scenes video here, I'm using the 3x3 grid view in the Photos app. And essentially all I really need to do is open up the image and favorite what hits me instantly. And I believe if it looks good small, it's probably a keeper photo, or it's probably worth favoriting and looking at again. And so I use this small thumbnail grid as a way for me to look through the images almost like a contact sheet, to then simply hit the favorite icon, throw them into folders and move on. And so I usually label my folders by the date. You know, for instance, we have these photographs I'm looking at from April 12th, 2024, and I'll just name the album this way and use this convention and simply create a folder for my day's work and go through the photos using the 3x3 grid view. And I can't stress enough how much faster it is to go through your photos when you have these small thumbnails, looking at them and culling through them intuitively, almost like a contact sheet. And so, as you can see once again in the behind the scenes video, the way that I look through the photos is so intuitive and so simple, and it really does streamline the process of making selections each and every day, and it makes the workflow so much faster. There's so many less headaches, and it's honestly a lot more fun, and I find more joy doing this process this way. And so I do back my photographs up. I use Google Photos. I also airdrop them to my phone or to my iMac. And it really is easy to stay organized with this workflow because of the way in which they're seamless across your devices when you back up the photographs. So maybe you want to use the Lightroom cloud and back up photos there that are your keeper photos. I personally use Google Photos. I think it's nice that you can share the Google Photos drive and actually have it being public and available for anyone to access. And essentially, I can pull out my phone right now and access the photos. I can go on my computer. I can access the photos. I can obviously use my iPad and look at the photos. And so I suggest using Google Photos. I think it's really efficient and easy to use, and you can simply back up your photos daily there. And so I use Lightroom only for my raw files. Essentially, I have on my iPad Pro the Lightroom CC application, and this allows me to look through my legacy files, you know, the files that I've made in the past in RAW. These files I will always have with me wherever I may be using the iPad Pro, using this app. It's really great because I can go on my phone, I can access the raw files there, I can go on my computer at home, I can access the photos wherever I may be to make some touch-ups or light edits and just or processing, and just like always have, you know, my work available across all devices. And so the power of the cloud is this very simple fact that you can go from the iPad to the computer to the phone and just always have your photos with you. And so one of the things that I've been enjoying doing is using the Procreate application as a way for me to creatively play. And so I'll remix my photos, add gradient maps, draw all over them. And lately I've been remixing my photos with collages. And as you can see in the video, I'm using the Photos app in tandem with the Procreate app, and I'm dragging over using the built-in AI where you highlight over a part of an image where you can drag it to the canvas and then create a collage and just play and tinker with the layers and play and make something new out of the images that you make. And this to me has been another liberating way to explore creatively using the iPad Pro. It's just something I spontaneously started to do, was play with this app and make these collages. And so what is a street collage? Essentially, it's just layering and recomposing some of the photographs that you've already made and kind of branching off of that sort of Dada movement of serendipity, spontaneity, and not taking it so seriously, oftentimes making it humorous or lighthearted, and just using different techniques to layer and recompose the images that you've already made. And so it's just freeing. It's a fun thing to do. It feels like play. And I just wanted to share this as a fun little side note on what I do with my iPad Pro, because it's another way to sort of break free from simply being a photographer, but maybe approaching yourself and your creations as a visual artist. And so if you make a photograph of something, you don't necessarily need to trash that photo, but you can reuse that photo in a different way using Procreate and perhaps making a collage. And so I do love writing on the iPad. I love using it for a way for me to just flesh out thoughts. I use the IA Writer app. I use the Markdown format, and this allows me to publish directly to my WordPress WordPress blog, and so I'll always voice dictate my thoughts using the microphone. Once again, this is such a amazing way to write. You don't need a mouse or keyboard or any of the accessories for the iPad. The only thing I ever do is carry it without a case and just speak directly to the iPad, and it's just so fast and efficient. And then I'll also use ChatGPT as a way for me to creatively flesh out thoughts or just have it in tandem with this workflow of writing and researching, and it's just a really nice workflow. And so I publish directly to my blog using the iPad Pro. A lot of the times it's really simple. I can go ahead and use this built-in Safari application, access my website, select my images, put some text up, go through the photos, make a gallery, and publish them directly from my iPad Pro and move on. Every single day for 2.5 years straight, I've published the photos that I've made every single day. Because this workflow is so simple, it's so effortless. I can go through all of my images, back them up, upload them and publish them directly to my WordPress website and move on. And so by publishing with WordPress from the iPad, you really do make this whole device your powerhouse, where it's not only your portfolio, but it's your publishing platform too. And so I just wanted to share that. You can also upload your photographs and publish them directly to your website. And this to me is the beauty of using the iPad Pro, is its multifaceted use case, where I use the Keynote application also as a way for me to make slideshows. And as you can see on the screen, we have some photographs that I made in Ocean City, New Jersey over the summer, and you can sequence the photos with fades, you can add text, you can do different ways in which you maybe want to make a video like this, right? Like this is a slideshow. You can make videos about your photos, you can sort of commentate over them, add music. I personally just like using the Keynote application because it's so simple, and you can export the file as a video, you can export the file as a PDF, and then you can publish them directly to your website. You can publish them directly to your blog or a YouTube channel. And I think that's the beauty of this workflow as well, is you can own your platform. You can share your photos without having to going through Instagram or something else like that, where if you make a slideshow and you put it on YouTube, think about it, you can access those photos years from now very simply by copying and pasting a URL and sending it to your friends and family, or sending it to somebody that you want to see the photos. So this to me is the beauty of this process, is being able to come home from photographing, go through all of the photos quickly, publish them and share them online in pretty much no time. You can basically, I believe it's possible to make like a photo essay by 9 a.m. If you're up early, you go for a walk before work, you go for a morning walk, you catch the sunrise, you make some photographs, you have your iPad with you, you can go through those photos after an hour walk on your way to work on the bus, publish them directly to your blog, upload a slideshow to YouTube, and then move on with your life and move on with your day by adopting this very simple and streamlined workflow, where I think a lot of photographers get bogged down by their workflow, and this is why I believe speed matters. And ultimately it'll just provide more joy in your life by being able to publish, share, cull, edit, and move on each and every day with speed. You will be developing your vision more quickly as well, and just focusing more on taking pictures rather than culling through the pictures, if that makes sense, where that's where we want to be, out exploring endlessly, like these birds in flight in this photograph, right? Just being out there and being free to create wherever you may be, not glued to the computer screen. And so this is why I believe that the iPad Pro is so great. It's so liberating to just have this beautiful tablet wherever I may be. When you combine it with the iPad Pro and the Ricoh GR, it's freedom. It really is. It's so simple. It's so easy to use. And I'm not like trying to sell you. It sounds like I'm trying to like sell you on use code Dante iPad Pro for the, I genuinely just think, like for me, like the workflow is so important, right? Like being able to just go out there and make the photos and not have to worry about all these different things that get in the way. It just allows me to play more, it allows me to create more. And that's why I was so eager to make this video, just to share the simple fact that the iPad Pro brings me more joy. And so hopefully by looking at this video and listening to my thoughts about it, or just sharing with you some of the ways in which I use my iPad Pro, perhaps you will now adopt it in your workflow. I highly recommend it. If you're already shooting JPEGs with the Ricoh, yeah, if you adopt the iPad Pro as your selection tool, where you cull through your photos, back up your photos, and publish your photos, it will bring your life a lot more joy and simplicity. And so, yeah, these are my thoughts on the iPad Pro, just walking around the woods. Yeah, check it out. We're out here. Yeah, this is my next project. Let's revitalize the forest. We got a pretty big canvas here. Peace.